Blessings, beautiful being. So in this video, what I want to share with you is why you lose motivation after a spiritual awakening. I want to share with you my personal experience with this to hopefully help you on your own spiritual journey. So before I had my spiritual awakening, like 5 years ago, I was working 10 to 12 hours a day, every single day almost. Let's just say 6 days out of the week, on my businesses. I was living in Vancouver, Canada. I had a nice office there, and I was working very hard on these two businesses. But then what happened is my dad got diagnosed with brain cancer, and then later on he passed away. 8 months later, he passed away. So this really started my spiritual awakening, because then I started questioning life. And really what happened is this event, my dad passing away and also being diagnosed, it triggered me. And it opened this Pandora's box of emotions that I just started feeling, and I started crying every single day. Not just because of my dad's diagnosis and passing away, that was obviously part of it, but I was crying from all of my life, like from this life and also from my past life, memories that was coming up. So it was a lot. And then what I started noticing is my motivation levels would start to drop, and initially it wasn't that much, but then later on, like now 3 years ago, as I'm in my twin flame, and that was another trigger event for me, another event that triggered my spiritual awakening even further. I started to slowly depend and have my identity depend less on what I did. I started shifting from doing and having to more just being. And again, I went from having 8 clients with my agency and having a course business well up and running, to having only 1 client and having no course business. And this was directly because of my actions, because I stopped taking action. So this is what you need to understand, is that when you have a spiritual awakening, what happens is you start to question this reality. You start to question whether this reality is really legit or not, and whether you want to play in this reality. I like the wording that Jim Carrey used, because he also had a spiritual awakening, a very rare species in Hollywood, scenario where he had a spiritual awakening, and he calls depression deep rest from the character that you're playing. So this is what spiritual awakening is about as well. You kind of have a depression phase from your life. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. And then you shift into your soul, into your being. But the thing is it might take some time, and you might, right now, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, you might not have any motivation to do anything, because first of all, the spiritual awakening in itself is so intense. And then if you're going through a dark night of soul, if you're going through a twin flame separation, in itself, the experience is so taxing on yourself and on your nervous system that you might not want to do anything. So my best advice is find a situation where, and typically this just happens automatically if you allow it, like for me it has happened automatically. Just find a place where you can be safe and you can be okay without doing anything. So this can mean, for example, getting support from your family, getting support by the government, getting support from your friends. Or, like in my case, for example, I spent the majority of last year in a mental hospital as I was going through my spiritual awakening. Obviously, I don't recommend it. It was just part of my journey. But there I was being supported, right, in a way, although they kind of messed me up as well. But of course, I'm thankful for the people who helped me there. Some great nurses for sure. But basically, what has happened for me now is I got an opportunity to work with this one big client after my old client referred him to me. And then I took that upon me myself, and I already got great results for them in the first 2 months. and they want to continue with me. And what I'm doing right now is I only have one client. I no longer have the course business anymore up and running. I have no motivation to do it, and I don't even do any of the YouTube sessions anymore sessions from these YouTube videos. I rarely do them as well. So my only income is from that one client, and that one client allows me to travel. But guess what? I'm like, okay, cool then. I don't have to do anything. And you might be like, oh, that's not very smart business. Like even my mom was telling me, like I would not have the guts, and even my friend was telling me as well, like they would not have the guts to go to somewhere like Brazil while only having one client. Obviously, they're paying me a significant amount, which is really enough for me. I don't need any more money, which again shows you how much I've grown as a spiritual person. I don't need to make 20K per month like I was making. I don't need to. It's enough what I have. So, like my friend and also my mom was telling me, like they would not have the guts to go to a foreign country so far away in Brazil with just one client, because what if they fire me? Well, here's the thing. If they fire me, they fire me. Then guess what? I'm gonna go back to Finland. But God willing, I don't think that's gonna happen. Again, God is in control. God is in control of everything. And who knows if a new opportunity will come up? Who knows? I don't know. But right now, it doesn't seem like there's any new opportunities coming for me. It's just this one client. And again, it's a very important, I want to mention that I can't say the name. I don't want to say the name of the client because I want to keep it confidential. But basically, they're a big spiritual platform, massive. And we're growing it now to be even more massive. And I'm helping with Facebook advertising. But that's just an example how things have flown, or yeah, just going with the flow to my advantage, where I don't have to work so hard at my business. Like it doesn't feel in alignment if I would just, first of all, I have to get results for this client, right? I'm focused on getting results for this client. It doesn't feel in alignment of me getting more clients on top of this client. It just doesn't. It doesn't. When I listen, and this is great because I've been tapering down the meditation, I've started to feel more. My intuition. It doesn't feel right to take more clients. It doesn't feel right to do my course business. Coaching sessions, maybe. But for now, it's for this client. And also I'm saving some money, I'm putting some money aside. So in case something does happen, I at least have the flight ticket, enough money to buy a flight ticket, enough money to live in Finland for a little bit. And then who knows, maybe I will get a job then. But I'm not attached to this idea of I need to be a millionaire, I need to make 6 figures, I need to make whatever amount of money I need to make. So this is going to be very likely that it's going to be similar to you as well in your own life, where you're losing your previous life for the new life. And it can be scary. It can be very scary to lose your old identity, and the ego, which is really edging God out. I learned that from Wayne Dyer, rest in peace. And by the way, Wayne Dyer, I was watching him when I was like 19 years old before I went to Canada, Vancouver. Great guy. And basically, the ego doesn't want to let go. The ego doesn't want to let go of control and allow God to take over. But what if you could just allow God to take over? What would your life look like? Even to share, I want to share this as well because this is some personal shit. Guess how much in debt I am right now? Because I didn't pay my taxes. And why didn't I pay my taxes? Because I was just going through a shit show. I didn't want to pay attention to anything because I was going through so much depression and darkness and depression, anxiety and all these things where I just didn't want to pay attention to any of the legal works and all these things. Obviously it's not I think it's a valid excuse actually. I want to take that back. But basically according to my what is called in English, person who looks after me, because I got that while I was in hospital. I was, admitted into this program where one like law firm, they look after my expenses and stuff like that. She told me that by her calculations, I'm 17,000 euros in debt because of unpaid taxes. And there's interest going up all over again. And I'm not worried, because I feel that someday I'm gonna make enough money again where I can just pay that off. Or if not, I'm gonna die before I pay that off. Who knows? But I'm not worried about that. Of course, it can still be a little, give me anxiety, the fact that I'm so much in debt, or I don't want to say so much, because it's not a lot of money. I spent 10K in Vegas. I could have spent 10K in taxes instead of 10K in Vegas. So, problems. There's a lot more people who are way more in debt than me. Even rich people, they're in massive debts. And if I really wanted to, which I don't want, but if I really wanted to, I could run my business again and pay that off. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't feel in alignment. So again, with this, I have to trust God that God will take care of this in divine timing. That's it. Even I want to share the last thing, because this is just coming through. What I see for myself is that in the future, somehow and by some divine miracle, I will be working with my twin flame together, and we would have a very successful spiritual business. This is what I see happening. Now, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. But this is the message that I get. Even I was getting yes message before I was telling this. Because again, I don't want to be so attached to my twin flame all the time. But it just happens to be so that that's my soul. Because your twin flame is your soul. So that's your soul's purpose, right? So yeah, I see that for me, and this also could be for you as well, because I know a lot of you are twin flames watching this. I see for me that I will be doing business with my twin flame, and then with that abundance, I could pay the taxes. And even to share, like, just the last thing I want to share is that, probably the last thing is, when I deleted my twin flame channel, I did a very big thing. I did a very big quote unquote favor, even though it might not look like a favor for her, but for my twin flame, I feel it was a big favor, because my channel had like 8,000 subscribers, I think. It was a twin flame channel. And I took all the videos down. I could have easily had by now like 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, probably. At least 20, let's just say. A lot of subscribers. And I could have a lot of sessions right now. I could be having a, and not a six-figure business necessarily, but like making a decent amount, like 3,000, for example, per month from the twin flame business. But I went with my gut instinct and what God told me to do. I've always done that. And I deleted the videos, and then later on deleted the channel as well. And now, although I incorporate twin flames thing into my channel, it's not the main thing I talk about. And honestly, I don't even talk about anything on my channel right now. I've just shared my problems with you. I'm like, oh, I need your help, I need your advice, which I'm, by the way, very thankful for all of you who've given me advice and help. It has truly helped me, because you're like a soundboard for me. I can just talk and share, and then you comment, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And hopefully it has been also helpful for you to read some of these comments, because we have similar problems, I know. So I think that's all I want to share in this video. I hope that this gave you something. But just as the last thing, be gentle with yourself when you go through this awakening journey. Like, it can feel very intense and very tough at times. I know. I've gone through the worst now, for sure. I was like panicking every single day. I was crying every single day. I was feeling so much darkness every single day. Now the only thing that I have is like anxiety. But I even believe that's because of the medication that I'm taking, or still and also withdrawal symptoms. So hopefully that will go away as I clear those from my system. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful in a way. If it was, make sure you hit the like button, comment below your thoughts, subscribe if you're new, and as always, I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.